Okay, guys, welcome back. We are going to do chapter 6 of Wish today. It is a very dreary and rainy day outside, so I'm not going to assign anything to go with this chapter. I'm just going to read it for a little bit of winding down time, like when we would have indoor lunch and just kind of be like, bleh, right? So instead of playing on the laptops, I'd stay in and read to you. So let's do that today. All right, chapter 6. We are picking up with a few days later. Mrs. Willoughby called Bertha about my bad attitude. That day in school, she had asked me if I had 2/3 of a piece of pie and I wanted to get half to my sister, then how much of the whole pie would that be? We were working on fractions. Hey, so are you guys. In math, right? I told her I wouldn't give my sister any of my pie. Everybody laughed, except Mrs. Willoughby. She turned beet red and pressed her lips together and made her eyes into little slits when she looked at me. When she called Bertha that afternoon, I was stretched out in Gus's easy chair watching TV. A fat orange cat named Flora was curled up in my lap. I heard Bertha say, "She did? Oh, dear." Then she lowered her voice, and I could only make out little bits and pieces drifting through the kitchen door of their conversation. "Well, she's been having a rough time." And some more whispers. "She's just missing her family." Some more whispers. "It's been very hard on her." Then she hung up. When she came into the room and sat down on the couch, I just kept my eyes straight ahead on the TV. "That was Mrs. Willoughby," she said. There was a guy talking on TV really fast, pouring some chocolate syrup on the floor and mopping it up with the miracle mop on some commercial trying to sell something. "She told me, Charlie, that you've been a little rude in school." Now the man on TV was showing the rest of things that came with the miracle mop set. I just tried to ignore her. Then Bertha started going on about how she knows how upset I must be about my family being all broken like it is. Well, okay, she didn't exactly use the word broken, but she might as well have. She said she knew how it must be scary to see Mama like she was, how I must be worried sick about my daddy Scrappy, and how I must miss my sister Jackie so much. I just kept my eyes on that man who was mopping on the TV, and in my head, I tried to just think pineapple, pineapple, pineapple. But Howard's stupid idea didn't work, because the next thing I knew, I was hollering and screaming at Bertha, mean words about her minding her own business. And who cares about my broken up sorry excuse for family? Not me, that's for sure. The words just kept spewing out of my mouth, and they got louder, and I spoke faster. How I just hated this town, Colby, and all those hillbilly squirrel-eating kids, and this nasty old house that was hanging off the side of the mountain, and all those canning jars taking up all that room in my room, and especially those stupid Cinderella pillowcases. And then I just stormed outside, letting the screen door slam shut behind me, trying not to think about Bertha sitting there on the couch, looking like she'd just been stabbed in the heart. A couple of cats leapt out of my way as I stormed across the yard and up the driveway towards the road, and I kicked at the dirt, and I yanked on leaves, and I hurled gravel into the woods. And when I got up to the road, I didn't even care that the road was burning hot underneath my bare feet. It was just mad, swirling all up inside of me, making my ears ring and my stomach churn. Then the next thing I knew, I was sitting in the dirt on the side of the road, crying so hard I could hardly breathe. So she just done gone and had herself a tantrum, right? What was wrong with me? Character, analyzation, thoughts, she's thinking to herself. What was wrong with me? Why had I said those mean things to Bertha? Why was I acting so hateful at school? And then, while I was sitting there wallowing in my self-pity, I heard somebody say, "What's the matter, Charlie?" And I looked up to see Howard standing by his bicycle in front of me. I put my head on my knees and I mumbled, "Nothing, just go away." "Must be something," he said. "Just go away." "Nah." He laid down his bicycle next to the weeds by the roadside and sat down next to me on the curb. "You have to tell me what's the matter." Well, didn't this boy just beat all? He sure had a lot of gusto for a little old red-headed boy with an up and down walk. "I don't have to tell you anything," I said. "Then you have to tell somebody, Charlie." And he pushed his glasses up his nose. Why? Well, my mama says you should never keep your troubles to yourself. She says if you share them with somebody, they get smaller. Go away, I said again. Did you kick somebody again? He asked. I shook my head. Did you poke him with a pencil? No, I hollered. Well, Mama made this little needlepoint sign that says if all our troubles were hung out on a line like laundry, you choose yours and I choose mine. What the heck is that supposed to mean? I asked him. It means everybody's got troubles. And some of them are worse than yours. He yanked at the blades of grass, ripping them out of the ground and tossed them towards the road, or something like that, he added. Ha! That was a good one. I couldn't think, there's that think word again. I couldn't think of anybody with worse troubles than me. I looked at Howard with his little eyebrows knitted together, and he had a look of pure worry on his face. Before I knew it, I just started spilling out all my troubles to him. I was spilling out all my troubles, and I told him how I wished my daddy Scrappy wasn't in jail, and how he and I just used to play poker and watch Wheel of Fortune. And when we did that, we used to eat macaroni and cheese for breakfast. I told him how scared I was when I saw my mama crying into her pillow in the dark night in the bedroom, not even caring one little bit whether I had clean clothes to wear or if I even got up and went to school. And I told him how Mama and Scrappy would just holler and scream at each other all the livelong day, while me and my sister Jackie sat on her bed. We would turn up the radio so loud so that we would try to drown them out and couldn't hear them. And I told him all about those times that I watched from the bedroom window when my daddy Scrappy drove off with his tires screeching and gravel flying out from underneath his truck, while Mama just yelled, "Good riddance!" from the front porch. And I told him how much I missed my sister Jackie. I mean, she knew all the words to nearly every song on the radio, and she would French braid my hair and share her nail polish with me and do all the things that sisters would do. And then finally, I told him all those mean things that I'd said to Bertha. When I was done, silence just settled over us. It was still and soft like a veil. The sun got lower in the sky, sitting on top of those mountains in the distance, and the air had grown cooler. I'd been letting all that out for quite some time. So for a minute, I stopped and I thought Howard was maybe embarrassed by all the stuff I told him, and he didn't know what to say to me. And I was starting to wish I had never shared any of my troubles with him. Ugh! But then he looked right at me, and you know what he said? You want my advice? Sure, okay, I guess. You can't do nothing about Scrappy and them back in Raleigh. And the only thing that you can fix is what you done and said to Bertha. And I guess he was right. I couldn't fix my mess of a family, but I could try to make things right with Bertha. I stood up and I brushed the dirt off the back of my shorts, and then I could hardly believe my eyes. Right there by the edge of the woods was that brown and black floppy-eared dog. I put my finger on my lips and went, shh. The dog was watching me, and his head cocked to one side. Don't move, I whispered to Howard. I took one slow step towards the dog, and guess what? He wagged his tail. Two tiny little wags. That dog liked me, I was sure of it. Hey, fella, I said, taking another step. Then, wouldn't you know it, a car came roaring down the road and whizzed right past us, and then the dog darted off into the woods. Dang it! I stamped my foot on the ground. I'd almost forgotten Howard was there when he said, I've seen that dog before. He's mine, I quickly said. Really? He asked. Well, he's gonna be. I bet he's full of ticks from the woods, said Howard. And he might have mange. Stray dogs sometimes have mange. So what? I said. His name's Wishbone. And the minute I said it, I didn't know where it came from, but it just felt right. Wishbone. That was the perfect name for my dog. I'm going to catch him, I said. And then I'll bathe him and I'll get the ticks off him and I'll teach him tricks and I'll let him sleep in bed with me. I'll help you catch him, said Howard, picking up his bike out of the weeds. You will? Sure. Suddenly, Howard seemed different. He didn't seem so much like that nosy boy who asked a lot of questions. nagging me half to death about being my backpack buddy. He seemed more like somebody who was being nice to me, somebody I had shared my troubles with. I watched him get up on his bike and pedal off towards his house. And then I called out, "Bye, Wishbone," into the woods before I hurried up the road to make things right with Bertha. So that's the end of chapter 6. Here's a quick little journal prompt for you. If you are taking notes and keeping up with the story, I want you to write a small prediction on what you think Charlie's going to say to Bertha when she goes in the house. I think you'll actually be quite surprised. So your prediction is to write what you think she's going to say when she walks in and how she's going to go about fixing this problem that she just created. Because she went and had quite the temper tantrum. Yes? So we want to take a guess and see how she's going to attempt to fix this problem and make things right between the two of them. All right. I will see you guys for chapter 7.